what's happening in this great city. Light on Leeds, we'll tell you. Wait a minute. Light on Leeds.
Hi Leeds, Satnam Galsian remotely connected to tell me about her band Kinaara and how they explore the connections between the music of the Punjab and the West. Have a listen. This week on the Corona Bloody Virus extraordinary episodes of Light on Leeds, I am very honoured to have Satnam Galsian come and speak to me. Hello Satnam.
Hi Hazel.
Thank you very much for agreeing to talk to me today. Satnam, can you tell me a little bit about Kinaara, what it is and how it came about and what does the name mean?
Yep, so Kinaara is three of us, so we're a trio based in Leeds, obviously. We're a kind of cross-genre band, and we use a lot of Punjabi influences. So when I set the band up back in 2018, my thinking behind it was that because of my love for Punjabi songs, I wanted to make Punjabi songs and Punjabi folk more accessible to a wider audience.
Yeah.
And I always had a love for like cross-genre music, so that was the thinking behind Kinaara. And Kinaara means the edge, but more literally, it's the edge of the river where the water meets the land.
Oh, that's a great name.
Thank you.
And so when you started Kinaara, were you by yourself or did you start as a trio?
So it was myself and John to start with. So John Hogg plays guitar. We actually met quite a long time ago when we were both studying classical Indian music at Leeds College of Music. And Simon, we managed to meet through another person that I knew. So yeah, Simon wasn't there originally, but there was no one else really. So
And is it quite difficult to find musicians that have an understanding of Punjab music?
It it was, but like Simon hasn't had experience of Indian music before. Like he's heard it and things, but never played along. But John and I, obviously, as I said already, were studying
Yeah.
classical Indian music together. However, when I set up Kinaara, that wasn't the like really important to me because obviously I bring the Punjabi aspect to Kinaara, and I wanted it to be a mixture of things. I didn't want it to sound typically Punjabi.
Right. Yeah, because
Yeah.
like you said, it's a fusion.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't want it to like because obviously, like you can, hear music that there's someone singing in like a South Asian language, and the instruments are Western but still playing similar to how an Indian instrument would sound, and that's not what I wanted for Kinaara. I wanted it to be, you know, different flavors from different places.
Yeah. And has it been very important to you to be making music that still has links to your Punjabi heritage?
Yeah, it has. So obviously my background, I am from a Punjabi family. So I have a love for that music. And so I identify with my Punjabi heritage, but I was also born and brought up in Leeds, so that is also important to me to kind of
Yeah.
bring out both of those in my singing and my identity, I suppose, as well.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Perfect fusion.
Yeah, yeah,
And
definitely.
have you always performed Satnam? Is that something that's always been part of your sort of day-to-day life?
Yes, it has. So, I started off doing like Sikh spirit, like religious singing, which is called kirtan. So I started off doing that when I was very young, for a number of years. And I used to sing like at the Ramgriya Gurdwara every Sunday.
Yeah.
Um, and then, as I said, when I was 16, I went on to start learning classical Indian music at the College of Music. And then I did a degree in classical Indian singing as well at Birmingham Conservatoire. So
Yeah.
all through that time I was performing, and after I finished my degree I performed and toured with a Kathak dance company for a number of years as well.
Wow.
Yeah, that was really exciting. I used to love doing that, being on the move and going to different places. Um, and then actually I had a very long break from music, um, just due to personal circumstances. So I got married, and basically I wasn't allowed to continue with my career as such.
Oh wow. But is that because of your marriage? Because of who you were married to, you weren't allowed to do that?
Yeah, it was kind of so sometimes with women who sing on stage, there's like, people don't agree with that and they think it's bad. There's certain connotations, that the woman is, loose or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So it wasn't seen as a respectable thing for me to be doing as a daughter-in-law. Um, so it was more acceptable at that point to get a job teaching. So that's when I started teaching Indian music in schools for art forms.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously I'm no longer married. So when I made the decision to leave, um I knew that music was something that I wanted to do. That whole thing had never left me. I think
No.
music becomes part of you when you're, a musician. So it's something that I'd really missed. Um and obviously it's something that I wanted to come back to. So that's what I've done.
Brilliant. Good for you.
Yeah.
So how long was the period where you weren't performing at all?
It was about um 9 to 10 years. So
Wow.
quite a long time.
Did you
Yeah.
find that very difficult, or were you sort of trying to sort of fit into your family life and sort of, putting that side of you to the back of your mind?
I think it was I think I did try to put it to the back of my mind. I missed it terribly. Um, like performing is something that I love doing. So to not be able to do that anymore was really, really difficult. And I think during that time I wasn't myself anymore.
Yeah,
And I was not very happy either. But I did try to, throw myself into kind of family life and, raising my children.
yeah,
But I think obviously, it wasn't it didn't work out, let's just say that. And
yeah.
I I ended up leaving, which was 4 years ago. And and I've just kind of come back into to kind of doing music again. And
So how did it feel the first time that it must have been a very, very difficult time for you and very traumatic.
it
And
was,
then
yeah.
to find yourself free again to do the thing that you really enjoy doing. Did that feel like a great feeling, or was it a little bit daunting because it had been such a long time?
I think it was a bit of both. Um, I'm so grateful to have a second chance to come back into doing music again. Um, so I was really happy to be doing what I wanted to. And the first time we performed, obviously, I was very nervous.
Yeah,
But I think it's something that is part of me, and I really enjoy doing it. So it's something that I want to do, and I will do it now going forward.
yeah, good for you.
Yeah.
And thank goodness that you are here doing it.
Yeah. I'm like I said, I'm grateful every day for you know this opportunity again to be back doing what I love. Some people don't get that.
Well, we're very glad to have you back doing
Thank
it.
you.
And do your children have an interest in music? Have you tried to impart some of your knowledge to them?
So I haven't forced it upon them. So I think sometimes um, parents kind of force their children to do things that they think is good for them.
Yeah,
And music is great for children, don't get me wrong. But I think because of everything they'd been through, I haven't really try to kind of say, no, you have to do this. I
Yeah, of
wanted it
course.
to be more organic.
Yeah.
So I have got like my eldest is learning piano, and my youngest was learning guitar as well. And
Ah,
so,
lovely.
yeah, so try to keep music there, but haven't forced them into Indian music or anything like that.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you. And so you got together in 2018,
Yeah.
and so you must have had a good couple of years of performing and making music with each other before we hit the terrible time that we're in now.
Yeah, so yeah, 2018 we had our first performance, which was part of World on Our Doorstep. Um, and then we regularly practice, so every week we get together pretty much to practice. And then so we've got like we had a good repertoire, and yeah, and then when Corona happened, it was difficult because the thing is, being a new band, we were still establishing ourselves.
Yeah.
So not being able to be out and about performing and kind of connecting with people has been difficult, and trying to do everything on social media, you
Hmm.
know, is yeah, it's not the same as actually going out and meeting people and performing for people. But we've tried, and when restrictions were lifted last year, that's when we got together and recorded our EP. Um,
Fantastic.
yeah,
Can you tell me a little bit about the EP?
yeah, I can. So it's called Across the River, and it's a selection of folk songs. So three of them are folk songs from Punjab, and one is a traditional Irish song, which is "She Moved Through the Fair."
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that's our EP, and it was released last week on the 16th of April.
How exciting.
Yeah, so it's been interesting. Like, we've not seen each other since last year, but we've been having Zoom meetings and speaking on the phone, emailing. So we've like had to work to kind of put this together when we're
And
not
did you
actually
enjoy the
seeing.
whole Sorry, did you enjoy the whole recording process?
Yeah, it was really good. I've not done many recordings. I am definitely more of a live performer. So it was quite a new experience for me. Not that I've never done anything, but to do like our own music was it was really good. And it was a tiring day as well.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
And as things have opened, are starting to very slowly unfurl and open up, have you got plans for performing coming up?
Yeah, we've got a couple of gigs already booked. So one is in July and one in August. So they're just local gigs in Leeds, but they're at venues that we've played before and we do like going back. So the first one is at Heart in Headingley on
Oh,
the
yeah.
13th of July, I think it is. And the second one's at Seven Arts on the 7th of August.
Oh, lovely. I bet you can't wait.
I can't wait. Honestly, it's been so long.
And do your children ever come along and watch you perform, or is it usually a little bit late for them?
If it's late, no, they can't come. But they've been a couple of times to see me perform, but yeah, usually they're at home. My youngest is really he's not good at sitting down for long periods of time. So yeah, he ends up kind of causing trouble. So I usually leave him at home, to be honest.
And how have they coped during lockdown? Have they coped quite well, or has it been a difficult time? Have you had to do much sort of homeschooling and things like that?
Oh gosh, homeschooling was like an epic fail. So I was basically told that I'm the worst teacher ever. Um,
Oh no, I'm sure that can't
yeah.
be true.
So yeah, it didn't quite go as planned. So that was during the first lockdown, and then there's like in this year's lockdown in January, I think the schools were giving out more work. So more things, like to guide parents. So that
Yeah.
worked a little bit better. But trying to motivate the children at home to, learn is really difficult. It's not like, it's not an environment they're used to having to do that in.
Yeah, and I mean, they're used to paying attention to the teacher in a different way, I imagine, than they would do the parent.
Absolutely. I mean, at the best of times, children often play up with their parents and don't listen to them. So trying to get them to sit down and learn about something is really hard.
Have they
Yeah.
enjoyed getting back to school?
Yes, they have. Yes,
And I bet you have as well.
absolutely. I couldn't wait. And that sounds so awful, but I think, you need time to yourself as well.
Yeah, of
So,
course you do.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's such a lot of pressure, like you said, it's such a lot of pressure on parents. I'm so glad that my son's not of school age because I mean I remember what he was like in ordinary times trying to get him to do school where it was difficult. But
Mm,
having him at home all day and having him to do all those exercises, I think would have been very tough. So I've got
yeah.
a lot of respect for all of you parents that had to do that.
Yeah, it was very hard, especially with two of them, like both at
Yeah.
different ages and different schools. And yeah, it was hard.
Yeah, and sometimes different systems as well for logging in and that kind of thing. I bet that was all quite stressful.
Yeah, like I think obviously this whole, pandemic has forced people to do things in different ways and have to learn about doing things in different ways as well.
Yeah,
So yeah.
definitely. And Satnam, you said that you have lived in Leeds all of your life,
Hmm.
which means that you are completely qualified to answer the three questions that I ask every guest.
Yes.
The first one being, what would you say is great about the city of Leeds?
Okay, so, slightly biased, but I am going to say the Leeds music scene. Um, I love it. I think I wasn't really on the Leeds music scene before I got married,
Yeah.
because I was touring with the dance company and they were based in Birmingham where I studied. Um, so, now that I am based here, coming back into the Leeds music scene, I've just found it like everyone's so welcoming and so friendly, and it's been great. So yeah.
Oh, that's a good answer. And if you had to choose something that you think was not so great about the city, what would it be?
Okay, so this one again, I'm probably biased and I can't really compare it with anywhere else, but I would say that the allocation system for schools is ridiculous. I had a right, it was a horrible time trying to find a high school for my eldest child. So that's why I've given that answer. And the appeal process was awful as well. So yeah,
And did you manage to get it all sorted out in the end?
I didn't get him into the school that I wanted him into, get into, sorry. And um, for a while, because I wasn't happy with the school that he had been allocated, I actually extended my homeschooling, glutton for punishment that I am, by another like month or so until I could get him into a school that he was happy with and I was happy with. So
Oh,
it's
good.
sorted
And
now.
I'm
He's at
good.
school.
And you are both happy.
Yeah,
Yeah, good. I'm
yeah,
glad to hear it.
yeah.
And if somebody had been a resident of Leeds for a very long time,
Hmm.
would you be able to tell them about something that you would consider to be a hidden gem that they might never have heard of?
See, this is the one that I struggled with when I saw these questions. Um, but I am gonna say, and it's probably not really a hidden gem, but I'm gonna say Gledhow Valley Woods.
Yeah,
Um, it's so nice and peaceful, and particularly I like being near the water,
yeah.
down there, and there's some swans and ducks and things as well. But it's really pretty, really scenic and beautiful. Um, and it's like you don't think that the water's there from the road, you can't see it, so yeah, it's
So
nice
it's a
to
nice
stop.
surprise when you find it.
I think so.
Yeah, well, that's a lovely one. And Satnam, what will you be doing with the rest of your afternoon?
Oh gosh, I've got to go actually visit my grandparents, so that's what I'll be doing later.
Oh,
had
lovely.
a
Well,
phone
please.
call.
What's summoning you to go and see them?
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, please do say hello to them from me.
Oh, I will too.
And I'm very much looking forward to seeing you play live. I can't wait to get out and about again myself and actually meet people in real life instead of over an internet connection.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
we always feature a song on the podcast by a Leeds-based musician or artist, which of course you are. And you are going to play a song from your EP. Can you tell me what it's called and just a little bit about it for everyone to hear?
Yep, I can. So it's called Lang Aja. It's a Punjabi folk song, and it's asking someone to come across the river. So hence where our EP name comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Lang Aja is asking
Oh,
someone to come
lovely.
across the river, and yeah, it's a woman. It's from a woman's perspective. She's feeling a bit kind of neglected by her other half. And that's what this song's about.
Oh, wow, that sounds like a lovely song. I'm looking forward to hearing it. I'm sure everybody else is too. Best of luck to Kinaara, and please send on my best wishes to your other band members.
I will
And
do.
I can't wait to get out and see you. And I will put links in the podcast notes of your website and all different ways that people can hear, and a link to your Bandcamp page so that people can download the EP and listen to it for themselves.
Oh, fantastic. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Satnam, and I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It was fabulous to speak to Satnam, and I'm sure you'll love the featured track by Kinaara, which is Lang Aja from their EP Across the River. Please do check out the podcast notes where there will be links so that you can hear more about all of the great stuff that Kinaara do. Speak soon. Bye-bye.